Let's start
background
with
changed out a little bit.
the world's worst party band.
Yeah.
I like them. That was kind of like
Oh my
Sergio
God.
Mendes. They were kind of fun.
The noodling on guitar guy at a party is the worst person at a
He
party.
is the worst
and there's
person.
two of them.
That's the only scene I like in Animal
You
House
guys
is
are
when he
such
wrecks that guy's
killjoys.
guitar and gives it back to
Let
him.
me guess. You can't play an instrument.
The French version of it gave my
I'm
love
a
to
drummer. I
Sherry.
don't play instruments.
Yeah, I said
Those guys were fine. You know,
Right, I'm saying.
you know what was terrible?
What?
You know what was terrible was that friggin' song they played twice called
Oh my God.
Jesus, so that you could hear all those stupid lyrics. What is it called?
Who cares?
Ask yourself why. Why
Yeah.
can't you go up on the grass?
Also, the score
you,
was.
uh,
You know what? You heard the score? It's actually the score from The Incredible Hulk, right? Da 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 da. Da, da, da. I
he's
swear to God,
walking.
I kept thinking The Incredible Hulk. Then the 70s. It's like, you know, that was it, right? Big Bill Bixby.
I mean, this is
Mhm.
69, right? But this movie is so 70s.
It is. It's so.
Yeah, 69.
I mean, look at the pants. Just
I
look
know.
at the pants.
Nice,
Like,
nice.
and the slight platform on the shoes here. Like,
I mean, that is a beautiful villa, and then there's these weird lamps and stuff in it in the interior that are
Like
just
the lamps.
it's kind of fun. I mean, that's one of the pleasures of the movie.
I blame
Guys,
Chris.
you're
I
all-
blame Chris specifically
you're all
for
heathens.
all
You know,
of that.
What did I do?
Oh,
Yeah,
Jane.
you know what you did.
You know, obviously, it's going along when Jane Birkin shows up.
You know what you contributed
The whole
to.
film just kind of takes off, which is weird because I thought Birkin's performance was kind of subdued. You know, she's like she
Is
did a lot
it
of
one
like
of her
big eyed.
first?
It was
Yeah,
one of
her
her
first
first.
French, or it's her
All
first
she did is
French
like
film.
look cute and stare a lot. You know, in some ways, she didn't do anything
She's
particularly.
like morose.
Works for me.
Almost morose. Almost morose.
She's just morose.
We're gonna get a lot
I
of
hate my
Jared saying
dad.
works for me in the rest of this.
Yeah.
So I can tell you that right now.
I hate my dad, and I'll use the first opportunity I get to fuck him over, which she gets.
Which is very teenage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Very
You
French.
can't blame her because he was
Boy,
her life.
I have a question. Was there anybody who, in the pregnant pause between where he asks how old she is and her dad answers, you're just like, please don't say 16. Please don't say 16. Please don't say 16. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
No, but
what's
then it
the
was like
age of
18.
consent in France.
Game on.
Well,
Well,
16 is game on in France too, unfortunately.
right. 16
Yeah.
is game on in France, which is why I was really worried they were going to say 16.
So, Chris, this is a story of your dad and you if you were a girl, right?
Wow. Does he get fucked by Alain Delon?
I'm not sure because your dad was
Hey,
a,
you know
your
what?
dad was
Chris
a
had an
producer.
affair with
Your
Alain
dad was a
Delon,
music
and-
producer about the same time
What's
in
this-
America.
I had to get fucked.
Mhm.
I'm extremely jealous, Chris, if you had an affair with Alain Delon. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna
same
say
here,
that
man.
right now.
Well done.
That's why
I
he hated the
want to
mustache so much.
Pictures or it didn't
Sorry,
happen.
I'm prepping us for the next film at this point.
No, I'd still rather it was Alain Delon.
Oh, okay. Well, he's a very handsome man, and he is. 4 of our movies have been Alain Delon films.
Question real quick. Didn't Jim have his whatever?
Oh my
down?
God, yes.
For the next one.
Had his franc
It's
on
the
the
next one.
Oh,
For
it's
the
for
next
the next
Oh,
one.
the next one.
Okay,
You don't
okay,
have your
okay,
franc
okay.
on le table for this one.
So I don't know. Dive in. I don't know. There's something about that. You know what this movie, both of these movies, but I'm going to start with just a word that kept coming to me watching both these films, but definitely this one is atmosphere. Like there's something
yeah.
about both of these movies, but this one really has an atmosphere that I really dug. You knew where it was going. I mean, it's very predictable. However, it does it in this, I think, very deliberate, mature,
Languid.
beautiful
Languid.
way. A little bit,
It
but it's got so much style. It's got so much style.
Yeah, but again, most style versus best style.
Right.
I don't think this is most style. I don't think they're
It's not definitely not best style.
Yeah.
no, but like from the beginning when he's laying on that, I think I commented in the
2000.
I think I commented in the chat, but like just the way he drinks his drink the very first time you see him, I'm
Oh
like,
man, that's a great
I'm
scene.
in. I'm
How
in.
he does that. Then he just puts it on his face.
Yeah.
You know, I was a huge fan of Mad Men, you know, when it came on and actually watched like 3 times all the way through. This was influenced the shit out of that show. You know, the guy's an ad guy, you know, and he likes swimming, and he has a lot of like Don Draper like character.
And it's
Probably lying about his
constant
past.
chain smoking, constant
Yeah,
chain smoking.
He
exactly.
probably fought in Algeria.
Probably or something like that. But I thought a lot of
He probably
parallels.
stole somebody's identity in
Yeah,
Algeria.
A lot of
Right.
parallels between that show and this and this movie. I thought it was.
But also the performance by the dad who shows up. He's so charismatic. He's like a force.
Well, he's a producer. He's a people person. He's always
Yeah.
been
Shithead bringing all those people over.
oh my god, I'd freak the
Right,
fuck out.
he
if that
goes
ever
down
happened
to
to me.
San Tropez and he brings half the village.
Exactly.
It's literally
Why did they show up for the funeral? He didn't know those fucking people.
it's literally the my parents are out of town, so somebody brings everyone over.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I love that the maid's cleaning everything up the day after and just has this like
She's
motherfuckers.
visibly pissed.
Yeah,
Like,
visibly pissed off.
She's not happy.
Bad for her.
Yeah. Would you be? Would
No.
you
No.
be if you had to clean up after
Also,
those
when he
douchebags?
arrives with all those people, he says, "Oh, don't worry, we brought stuff." And it's like, "Oh yeah, that's what I was worried about."
But you know what? They weren't they weren't too put out.
Not
After
that
a couple
someone's going to
minutes,
fall in the pool and drown, or these
Yeah,
assholes
right.
are going to keep playing the entire time.
Yeah.
Gonna steal the silver and rip the painting off the wall and
yeah,
I like that this
Stealing
is
the
sort of like
cornerstone of
a
the building.
maybe it's a bit shallow or a guilty pleasure of sorts, although I don't think this is a stupid movie by any means, but I love just watching beautiful people do bad things sometimes. It's just really fun.
with a murder in it.
that murder was
I think they
interesting.
Murder is the
I mean,
least
it-
interesting part of the movie.
Murder is the
though.
dumbest
It
thing.
helps
It-
that
no,
it helps that they were lovers like for 5 or
Dude,
7 years.
Dude, just
before he-
stand up. That pool is not that fucking deep.
It was interesting that how mundane it was. It's like the guy was in the pool, and all you gotta do is if he's drunk, he just keep his head underwater until he eventually.
And he wasn't very good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, both
Yeah.
of these movies have a really dodgy understanding of how long it takes to drown someone.
That's true. Yeah.
Like oh yeah, I'm gonna hold you underwater for 10 seconds and now you're dead. And it's
Well,
like
I
that's
think-
not
I-
how.
but-
I think the comment language is probably going to be used for both these movies. So even these filmmakers are like, we can't have it go on forever. We gotta.
Right.
No, and honestly, the best thing was the expression on Delon's face right after. That's
Yeah.
maybe
Absolutely. That was pretty good.
It's really good.
But I mean, there have been scenes like there's the scene in one of the movies I chose, American Friend, where what's his name, Dennis Hopper strangles that guy in the railroad car between two cars, and it takes an awful long time and a lot of exertion
Mhm.
to like actually kill the guy.
It's difficult to do.
Well, it
Yeah,
may
it-
take longer than it shows here to drown someone, but I like how sloppy it was. I like, and we'll get to the other movie
it
too.
was
but
definitely realistic.
That's the thing.
Right.
That's what's
when
yeah.
yeah, like I commented on that fight from the Proof movie, it's so sloppy. I love when I see sloppy bad fighting in a movie because it rings true to me.
Like that movie, that fight in that movie, They Live, between like
oh my god,
Roddy Piper. It
that's
goes on
not
for
realistic
half
at
an
all, but
hour,
it's
and like-
hilarious.
it's hilarious, but it's
That's
also
a
pretty
fantastic
realistic.
scene.
the
Yeah.
longer
It's
it goes on, the
They're
funnier.
both drunk.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But also, no one would be able to fight that long. You would fall over from exhaustion.
He
probably
even
would.
says, Jim, when he
But except Roddy Piper was a professional wrestler. And
That's
the
true.
whole thing
Roddy Piper
is-
could do it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's like you do 25 minutes at Budokai, and it turns out you can actually
I
do
mean,
that.
he was all out of bubble gum. What are you going to do?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
in this one, Jimmy,
Although don't remind me of better movies.
once he falls in the pool, he says, I'm drunk and I'm cold, so stop messing
Yeah.
around and let me out of the pool or something to the
Yeah.
effect.
There's so many weird lines that he has, which are good, like drunk person lines. Like
Yeah.
it is very much the like, hey, stop messing around.
Yeah, exactly.
I would like to see the English language version since they filmed it at the same time.
Yes.
That's right.
And because everybody spoke English except for the cop.
Mm.
Well, and there
what-
are multiple parts in this movie where they do speak English to each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah,
too.
at the beginning, I thought Lanier, the guy who gets killed, I thought he was supposed to be
Be
English.
Yeah.
That
But
was
then when he switches to French, it's like, no, he's French.
that was another thing these two movies had in common is like, do the French always send inspectors for drowning murders
No.
behind their back?
Skinny, dour, balding
He was
detectives
sitting in
wearing
his
suits.
office in Marseille.
No,
and he
they
said,
took this
Oh,
dude.
this looks very suspicious.
They took this dude. They froze him in a block of ice for 30 years, and
Chris has got
and
it.
thought him out for the next movie because he's the
Right,
same
yeah.
goddamn guy.
Yeah, nice.
They're like French Columbos. They're like, oh, one more thing. One more thing. I noticed that
Even the
Unmasked.
posture was the same.
I know. I'm saying so
Like, oh,
weird.
he's the detective. Then the second one, it was like, oh, he's the detective.
Same detective. Maybe it's-
Yeah, he
movement
starts his career in La Tropez, and then he ends up getting stabbed to death in the woods. Like,
Exactly.
it's
Yes.
just-
It's
movie
actually
was dangerously
that's
close
the
to
theme.
being
It was a series about this detective, right? So that's
it
why
is.
we're here, right?
It really is.
wait, what were we gonna say, Chris?
I just this movie started creeping dangerously into, oh God, this is turning into an episode of Columbo, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, just
Then-
because you see the murder.
Yeah, it's a how.
Well,
It's a how's he going to get away with it or not get away?
right. Like literally,
And he
that's
does.
how they did those movies, that TV show. But for me, it redeemed itself with that shot.
Oh yeah.
She's really good in this.
Damn, she was
and-
good in this.
When she
She's a
finally
fine actor.
realizes, oh fuck, he killed that guy.
everyone in this movie is
But
good. Is a
then,
good actor.
just like
Yeah,
the other
that's
movie
true.
we'll get to, I'm gonna forgive him because he's hot.
Right.
Yeah, this
not only,
no,
not only
basically,
hot, not only
supposedly
hot, but
rekindled
she knows he would never do anything like that to her. Like,
Right.
he's not just hot, he's hot and safe.
Right.
As
Right.
opposed to the next movie, which we can talk about when we get there.
But he's a hot bad boy.
hot and very unsafe. Anyway,
Right.
Let us talk about the ending or non-ending, because the last thing she says to him, it's Jean-Paul and Marianne. The last thing Marianne says to Jean-Paul is like, I can't be with you anymore. It's over.
Right.
And then the last shot is them embracing.
yeah,
Well, she goes to
Yeah,
she
there,
goes to
Chris
make
has
the
it.
call, and he clicks the receiver on the phone.
it's very French. I love this movie because it's
Well,
very
it-
French.
this would make a good double bill with
It's like we're stuck
crimes
together.
and misdemeanors.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Well, no.
Where it's like
This is
at the end of the day,
this is a
he's gonna get
nihilist
away
ending.
with it.
It's a nihilist ending. The guy gets away.
Crimes and Misdemeanors would have been so much better had they not done the Woody Allen storyline. The romantic storyline is what doesn't work for me in that. It's the criminal storyline which does. And actually, Allen remade it later and did the exact same thing and called it Match Point.
And exactly right. He took the romance out.
That-
Actually, the
this
Von
movie-
Sydow.
This movie
scene
won me
was
over
best.
with the ending because I was definitely on the fence. Like, I don't know that I like this.
Well-
I mean, it's fabulous. Actually, I thought the photography was gorgeous. I thought the color
Yeah.
was gorgeous. There's a couple
Yeah.
of cool shots, like I don't know. I guess it was like a helicopter shot following the car through the.
It was
It's just got a
definitely a
vibe.
helicopter
It's
shot.
got a, it's got
I
a
was just
feeling. It's got a
thinking,
vibe.
How
It's
much
got a
money did it cost in 1969 to have a helicopter shot?
Right,
like
and then
that?
and then
All of
like
it.
maybe 10 minutes later, there's a shot with DeLon and his girlfriend or whatever, and it's like they're shooting through
Mhm.
louvers or something.
Uh-huh.
Like it was
Yeah.
really interestingly shot, but then okay, I get it. They're fabulous people, rich people behaving horribly,
Yeah.
but
They're not
the
even
ending won
rich.
me
That's
over.
the thing about this movie that I do think is really interesting from a thematic perspective, is that the guy who gets murdered is rich.
Yeah.
Like he
Yeah.
owns that Maserati, like
Yeah.
he's rich.
He owns a
Yeah.
record
They're
label.
not. They're
Yeah.
house sitting for their rich friend.
Because that's,
Right.
that's what they can
Yeah,
afford.
that's
Yeah.
true.
And
that's
neither
true.
of them are working.
Uh-huh.
Like
Yeah.
but they're all fabulous.
That they are fabulous.
They are
That
fabulous.
location, though, I think you fall in love with that location in like 2 seconds.
Well,
It's
that
just
Maserati
insane.
was gorgeous too.
Oh, the villa's great. I love the car. I love
Everything
the
in this
villa.
movie is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All the people are gorgeous. The house is gorgeous. The pool is gorgeous. The view is gorgeous. The cars are gorgeous.
Even the
the
maid
people
was
the people who
gorgeous.
show up at the party are fucking
too. I'll bet
gorgeous.
I know exactly. They're all
The girl that he kind of dunks, like he just like pushes her
with
aside.
the bob
Yeah.
haircut. She
Yeah.
was gorgeous. I know.
Both of them.
just-
The one who's doing the kind of belly dancing,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
then the black woman who he's with for a second later. Like,
Yeah.
Or as
holy
she's called
God.
in the credits,
just-
I like all of the
the mulatto.
I like all the flirting moments,
Well,
like
again, French.
Yeah.
Like,
and you get a good sense of what this movie does well that a lot of movies can't do is when you have two characters who are a couple and they they're very sexy, they're very in love, but they're having a teeny bit of a rift or an off thing, and so they go flirt with other people and they come back and they totally have set, like they do that very well in this when they go out by that little thing by the pool, but it's a good, they play little mind games with each other and flirt with other people to turn up their libidos and then get together with each other.
well, and the movie swerves you a couple of times with who's in bed.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
like it's there's the two breakfast in bed scenes,
Yeah.
and both of them are swerves. It's just like, oh, you think it's going to be Elaine Delon the first time and it's not, and you think it's not going to be Elaine Delon the second time and it is,
And it is,
it's
yeah.
like
And he's hungover.
it does right, because he doesn't drink anymore, so now that he's drinking again, he's not used to it. Like,
Yeah.
it's
I want to ask Chris, because he was making a point and he kind of got stepped on when he got to his point at the end. It was, so this movie didn't work for you? Is that what you said?
No, it was. I was like, again, like the point where it starts to turn into a Columbo episode, I could feel myself mentally checking out. But then it kind of comes around on the, oh no, she's going to let him get away with this. And that's where I was like, oh, that's fucked up.
yeah, it's like,
you know,
like
I
3
would-
minutes of the movie.
I like this
though.
movie.
I would characterize this film as a classy melodrama. This is like Written on the Wind. This is like a Magnificent Obsession. It's very turgid. It has all about
I
rich
love
people
those films.
screwing each
But
other
this is-
over
but this is-
murder.
the
but
next
this is-
movie.
But
this is
I
treating it-
I love melodrama. I actually studied
Me-
it in college.
I do too. Like
I-
Douglas Sirk is so different though in his tone and his handling of these subject matters, right?
Although I
It's-
will draw
it's-
some parallels between him and Deray. That's like that.
You absolutely can, but this
Yeah.
is treating it. This is more like an art film, whereas Sirk is more interested in, you know, I don't know. He's got this.
Emotion.
Yeah, like I
actually,
can't just like I don't know why Douglas
Nihilist.
Sirk films work, because they're so terrible on the surface, but they're amazing.
They're
You
amazing.
get sucked
Yeah,
in.
once you finish watching it, you realize you saw something really interesting. You know, they call it the unmerry-go-round, and this is also an unmerry-go-round in a lot of ways. You know,
I mean, there's this.
people are going in circles, and the thing is, it's great because it actually is kind of everyone's living their lives, and everything is balanced. We have Alain Delon and the girlfriend; they're living their life and they're keeping things together. The friend shows up with the daughter; everything's balanced. As soon as he screws that 18-year-old girl, the whole thing just falls apart like one of those experimental machines. You know, it's like it's amazing how big that this film explodes at that point. You know,
But
and it leads to murder almost immediately.
And that's the only non-French thing about this is they don't actually show them or explicitly tell you that they had sex, but you just
No,
know.
it's all figured
It's
out.
all that's her face work. That's her.
Yeah, yeah.
And she reacts like a real 18-year-old. She's like resentful and angry and confused, and she's staring.
She's so dour, but it's
Delon's
super hot.
girlfriend lies to her face
Yes,
as
Yeah.
she's leaving to get on a plane.
right.
That's
They're like,
probably
she
the
really
best
is gonna
scene.
let
in
him
the
get
movie.
away with this.
That's probably the best scene in the movie. Like,
It's
it-
crazy.
It is.
great.
It's really good.
And again, like I was like right on the like I'm ready to like give one of these, but they just went in the kind of dark nihilistic direction. That's why I decided, oh, it's fucked up. I like
this, and I will say that this movie didn't work for me. Like overall, it didn't. And there's little moments in it where I'm like, oh, this is really good. Oh, this is really good. And I was like grasping onto them as I was watching it, because it's like I really wanted to like this movie. Like I really like the acting is so good.
I think
And-
Delon was great. In this.
Oh my god, he's
like this is a role he was born to play.
Well,
he was.
He shows you his person.
He
Like
won
we
the
see
genetic
him a lot.
lottery,
Well,
so-
we've seen him a lot in the Melville films, and he doesn't get to here. You can see a personality, a character.
Yeah,
You know, a real.
he's not
well,
being.
and also we do need to address everything that was going on in his life around this.
What was that?
So his bodyguard got murdered
Oh, geez.
while they were making this movie.
Whoa.
And it turned out that him and his bodyguard were having these massive sex parties,
Perfect.
and the president of France's wife was involved. So
Wow.
there may be like
Classy orgies.
compromising photos
Uh-huh.
of the president of France's wife.
Holy
And there's like potentially like gay stuff that was happening, and like it's this whole scandal that rocked France for years. And in
That
the
was
middle of that,
before or after this movie came out.
it's while this movie is being made. Like
during production.
And it's this giant scandal that happens, and Delon's at the center of it. And the guy, the dead guy, left a note that was like, if I die, blame Delon and this Corsican gangster who he was friends with.
Wow.
Like it's this whole, and the weird thing is Delon's the only person in this movie who like lived. Like the actress who plays his girlfriend died young.
Romy Schneider?
Yeah.
Oh,
The guy who played the record producer died young, and they were both close friends of his.
whoa.
Like there's so much fucking weird shit around this movie, and it's just like,
Well, and Birkin just died last week?
Yeah, well, she
Yeah.
ripe
Yeah.
old age. That's good.
and
Who's
you
she-
look at DeLon later in life, and he looks like he's carrying the weight of the world on him, up until like 2016 or whatever, which was the last time he was like seen in public. And
You know, it's funny. You like, I didn't know any of that, but when I was watching this movie, I was thinking the whole time about Rob Lowe in Bad Influence, which is a movie I really like and should pick.
Okay, that's
Because
actually
that was where, like, that pretty boy thing that he was so good at that moment, coming off of his sex tape scandal, like, because he was one of the first ones,
right.
but he channeled all that into playing like a really bad guy,
right.
with some seriously questionable moral.
Yeah. So that
Yeah,
and
like, and that I
baggage.
thought DeLon like used his pretty boy, the thing that I kind of dunked on the last one movie we watched, which was that horrible mustache thing he did. But I actually thought
I love the mustache. I'll
Literally
defend
the
it.
only person who doesn't like that movie is you. Like,
I love it.
it's-
I hate that
I wasn't
mustache.
here.
I love his
The
mustache.
mustache was not.
the mustache is fantastic. It's
It was
it's
great.
such it's a fantastic douchebag mustache.
Yeah.
Like,
As Lanier says.
If I was a woman, I would be buying
wait.
tickets for a mustache ride. I will
What was
just
that- what
tell
was
you
that-
that
what was
right now.
What was that, Jim?
Yeah.
apparently a lot of women were, and some men.
And
Jim-
maybe
Jim-
some men.
no. All right. Jim threw out a good line. We all stepped on it.
What was it?
I said it's super.
Oh,
Super.
there you go.
It's
See,
super.
there it is.
Yeah.
It is super.
Well, I think we could probably go to the cards at this point, unless there's anything else.
I don't know. Does everybody have a go?
I didn't
I don't
really.
think I heard Jim say anything.
John's been getting cut off.
Yeah.
He's got a crappy mic.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
repeatedly.
a
I just
mic problem.
Take it,
I like
John.
the vibe. What is it cutting out?
No,
Yeah,
a little
Like
bit.
cutting out.
Just speak in a slow and even tone.
Maybe it's, I'm hitting the peaks too hard.
Use your radio voice.
Yes.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
All right.
There you go.
I liked the car. I mean, I enjoyed watching this film, but I just feel like for what it was too long. I don't know what it is with these.
It is long.
Man, but
It's
the
2 and
fucking
20,
length
right?
of
It's
the
long. Uh-huh.
I don't even think it's that, but it is long.
Come on.
seemed long to me to get to its point. But so I can't give it.
Languid.
Yeah, languid. I can't give it an unqualified thumbs up, but it's not the worst thing I ever saw.
Dan
I
was
mean,
thinking-
it's no Knight Rider.
There is a article I want to share with you guys, which I
I'd
found.
rather watch Knight Riders again.
There's a not Knight Riders, no, there's an article in the New Yorker that was written recently about this film. I think when the Criterion
4K restoration.
Yeah.
it's got a 4K restoration, all that, and this
I'd love
guy's
to read it.
it's an axe grindy film critic who thinks there are other better films and that people are embracing because it's shallow and vacuous and it's about rich people and beautiful places.
It's a melodrama.
That's sort of the point.
Yeah, but also
Yeah.
also
Point,
getting
yeah.
mad at the Criterion Collection for picking a movie that you don't think it should pick is like the most played out. Like they put out Armageddon. Like let's like stop. Like
Yeah.
And The Rock. And The Rock.
and also
Rock.
this is gorgeous.
Also, the 4K looks amazing. It-
I
And
thought
I
like, it looked great. The
If
color
you're,
I
is
just-
preserving, if you're preserving cinema as an art form, this is a fantastic film to pick.
it is.
To preserve
agree.
cinema as an art form.
I'll say
yeah, I love French cinema so much, and this just has that vibe, that
Oh, yeah.
pacing, that tone that
Weird
I
underlying
adore.
racism. Like, yeah, it's French as shit.
I don't adore underlying racism, but
But that is French as shit. Like you can't
Right.
deny that. Like
it's probably every country. But
right. But
Yeah.
the French very much have a like, oh, there's North Africans here. Let's put some scary music underneath them. We all watched Cachet. Like
Yes.
yeah,
We did. All right, Jim, do you have a corner? at
which is
all?
also very French.
John's corner.
Oh, John, you have more corner?
I'm gonna send that New Yorker article around because despite
Sure, I'll look at it.
Yeah, I'll read it.
it's kind of a hit piece. He does make some good points, but I mean,
Uh-huh.
he's upset, and he actually in the last two paragraphs he says he names another director and another film. It was like, this is the one people should be excited.
Oh, one of those guys.
You know what was that?
Well, I'll check that out. I'll check that film out. What do you recommend?
I'll send it around. I'll post it in the chat.
Again,
right.
that's
But I had never-
That's just boring.
So-
That's just boring. That's just like.
Well, we can go
I
to the
have
It's reductive, is what the thing.
I have my bugaboo, and you are not going into my bugaboo. And it's
Why
So
is
before we go to the
why isn't
cards,
this
like,
film, why is this film
I-
Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen? Damn it, why? You know,
Right.
kind of thing.
We're
right?
not gonna. We'll get to the second film before we go to the cards, though. Like, I had never seen this film. I'd only heard about it, and
Oh,
I watched it for the first time. I think actually earlier this year, and so, and when I watched it, it's probably no surprise. I really enjoyed it, and we'll get to.
the whole
but-
time I
well-
was sitting there going, Jared loves this movie.
Well, but not as much as I love the next one. But I'll tell you something. Like but when I was thinking of this, I said, "Oh, this is a movie that I really kind of adore." And while I was sitting with it for weeks afterward, I said, "Oh, Stranger by the Lake." There's like, oh shit. And I was like, okay, because I saw Stranger by the Lake when it came out.
Horny drowning movie.
water murders.
Yeah,
Horny-
like I saw Stranger
France, horny drowning
when Stranger by the Lake came to America, I saw it in the theater, and so that and it was one of those. Well, we'll get to
They
it, but
played
it
that in
didn't.
the theater here.
All right. I thought it was so much fun to watch these four actors work. It redeemed it for me. I thought it was still a melodrama, but these guys did such a great job on camera. It was so.
Well,
This
again,
I'll give.
great
I will
face
give it
acting
this.
comes
I
out.
will give it this for cinematography and acting. Though.
Yeah.
like
But the
cinematography
plot
and
is no
acting
big
is
deal.
really-
I think
yeah,
here.
the
I
plot
think
is-
I agree. Yeah.
And some of the dialogue's really dumb.
Oh yeah.
Even in some.
But some of it's good. Like it was so. It's
Some
so
of the English
it's so
dialogue's dumb, too.
pervy and weird the way he talks to his daughter, but yet I found it interesting.
Yes.
It is pervy. Like that is something that we haven't touched on here. Is the underlying like, man, you're trying to fuck your daughter. Aren't you?
Yeah, of course.